The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsors. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
Welcome aboard, everybody. It's January 13th, 2020, and it's the beginning of a fine week.
It is, and 13 is always a lucky number for me.
And we are, let me tell you this.
And I'm lucky to share the hour with you.
We have a long way till Christmas. So fasten your belt.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. We got a long ride yet. Till Santa comes and visits us again.
One of the favorite expressions that some Southerners use is buckle up, buttercup.
Ooh, buckle up, buttercup.
Yeah.
Well, I got this to say. Success
right.
is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day.
Yes.
And I will tell you that's the secret of Crown Car Care's success for 13 years.
See that?
Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day.
Right.
And when you have vehicles, that's one of the secrets.
Right.
Do the same process on every vehicle that you touch.
Yeah.
Whether it's an oil change, a road test, or diagnosing a very difficult problem. If you have your pattern set, your outcome, for the most part,
going to be positive.
Is going to be positive
right.
and in the direction you want, and you'll get the results that the customers, as well as you, the technician and or the shop, want.
Right.
Nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. In fact, that's going to be,
and a part of that is asking the right questions to
get to
glean all the information,
to know where to start. And I'm going to talk about three vehicles that two of them are still in our shop.
Okay.
And one of them has left. But they are the tale of what can go wrong elsewhere in the world and how they found their way to Crown Car Care, which has two locations. We have one in both in Martin County. One's over there in Palm City, off 714. 772-781-8000 is our phone number. And we also have one in Stewart, almost in Hope Sound, by the way, right off Cove Road, about a mile and a half in on the left-hand side, heading towards the ocean from US 1.
Right.
Mike over there can help you. And Paul, my fabulous general manager in Palm City, can help you in our Palm City location.
Right.
And the stories of the tale of three cities will be about three lonely orphan vehicles.
Where the shops that originally were working on them didn't execute the proper
and
routine
just like
you do.
Like what is that about a Sheba and a sheep? I think there's a little nursery rhyme about that.
Very likely.
Bob, Sheba,
wow.
Sheba and your sheep.
Baba Black Sheep.
Sheba or a Sheba and little Sheba come home. Well, it made its way. All three made their way to Crown Car Care. And I can now say that there's nothing but success on the horizon for these three vehicles.
Nice.
One is gone and two
are on their way.
Are in good hands.
Yeah.
Expecting positive outcomes. And that will be the tale of our story. Any breaking news for you today?
Funny you should ask. You know, our good friend Goshen, his legal team is planning a massive offensive campaign.
Well, you know how he got out, don't you?
Tell me. Do tell.
He spent millions. A group of about 14 people, close confidants of him, planned this heist that you couldn't imagine more if it was a movie.
Right.
And he escaped in a box.
Okay. With an oxygen bottle, right?
Oh, I don't know about an oxygen. It had holes poked in it. They showed the box.
So.
He was interviewed, I believe, on Dateline or a Sunday morning show, Jane Pauley or somebody, but it was a live interview or maybe taped, but they interviewed him and they showed the box. This box was used to transport entertainment, to make bands that use lights and cables and mixing boards and things. It was one of those type of boxes that has wheels built into it with the metal handles. I'm sure. And if anyone out there can envision what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Cargo
type container. And I believe he's a very slight man. And it played in his favor because he actually went into the box. They wheeled him onto the tarmac of the runway and he went into a private jet after he escaped from prison or wherever he was held. I believe it was a high security area. It may have been not exactly prison cells, but it was something that was under high security. And he escaped on a private jet and made his way to, I guess, Lebanon in this tiny wheeled box with holes in it. And he never sounded a peep or came out until, I guess, he landed in Lebanon. Fabulous story. I mean, you got to give the guy crap. Of course, it took money.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know the full details of the money side of it, but I know he did hire whether it's a Green Beret or someone from one of the elite military units here in the United States that would have been retired and been a gun for hire or soldier of fortune is what they call him, I believe.
Yeah.
Hired contractor.
Yes.
And he was instrumental in bringing this gentleman out of Japan.
Yes.
Japan. And was that after or before didn't he have a masseuse come in?
He did.
Okay. I guess he was after that. Maybe he needed the masseuse to get his flexibility to be able to tie up like a pretzel into the case. Seriously.
I think there's something there. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because there is a lot of stretching mechanisms that therapists use in order to help make people more limber.
Maybe this whole thing was planned out, well planned.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do give him credit for that. I don't know whether he was guilty or not guilty. I do know he did live an extravaggant lifestyle.
Right.
Mr. Goshen.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So the subtitles here are the Goshen regrets what might have been, and Japan throws stones at Goshen from a glass house. So that's a very Asian proverb, and so
this is becoming very unfolding. And I've heard that there's movie talks with this because it would be a good movie.
That would be an amazing movie.
And he could play the role himself. He's quite an actor.
He could.
I mean, he has debonair good looks. He's got quite the personality, and I believe he has a big spending habit.
He does indeed.
So,
and there was
any news about the car of the year or any of that? I heard that there was a soundbite or something.
There is. You're exactly right.
Let's hear it.
Let's do that. So the car of the year information. Here we go.
Hope you're having a good Monday so far. I'm Jennifer Vong. Later, Toyota's hybrid boost. Now a look at your top news stories. The North American International Auto Show left its traditional home in January for June, but the awards for the North American Car, Utility, and Truck of the Year didn't make the switch with it. The winners were announced this morning in Detroit. The Chevrolet Corvette Stingray won Car of the Year. It beat out the Hyundai Sonata and the Toyota Supra. The Kia Telluride won Utility of the Year. It beat out the Hyundai Palisade and the Lincoln Aviator. And the Jeep Gladiator won Truck of the Year. It beat out the Ford Ranger and the Ram Heavy Duty. We'll have
the Palisade and the Telluride are same vehicle, just rebadged.
Yeah.
How does it beat out its sister or brother? It's a sign, they're twins.
Yeah.
Identical twins, except for a few small details.
Yeah.
Basically the same vehicle.
Yeah, there was Oldsmobile and Pontiac did that often too.
They did. Poor GM.
They
built so many brands. They remember Hummer was almost. I think it became its own brand too.
It's coming out again.
It is.
Yeah.
There's do you know what these Hummers are going for?
Oh,
60,000 plus. Some of these H3s, H2s.
Yeah.
The H1 is the real.
There's
H1, H2, and H3.
Right.
And then there's H2O. That's water.
Yes.
H1, H2, H3, and H2O.
Okay.
Right.
Not to be confused with the other H's.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah. Any other news?
Oh.
We had to have a little fun there.
Absolutely.
H2O. It's the new liquid Hummer.
Yeah. So Ford sales dropped 26% in China. So that's
why?
Chinese government.
Or was it an artificial number to start with and it caught up to them?
Could be. But the Chinese are really pushing the EV sales.
They are.
And I suspect that's going to cut into the Ford numbers.
But aren't they heavily embedded with Rivian? Speaking of Rivian, is there any news on Rivian that you can provide me?
Just that Rivian is doing an unveiling, and their new vehicles coming out, I believe, end of this year.
Franchise dealers or the vertical integration thing like Tesla?
Vertical integration. And they're going to be delivering. This is what they're doing.
Well, they're cutting out. It's keep all the money.
Yeah.
That whole thing is about keep all the
There's
money.
not going to be any showrooms to speak of, and they're going to deliver the cars right to you through their own network.
Okay. It's just, times are changing.
That's what they're going to do.
Although Tesla's been
they're struggling.
They've had to go with their own insurance to pay for the rental cars that they can't supply to the people that get in accidents, and that is a fact.
Exactly.
Speaking of electric cars, do we have any breaking news on batteries and energy density?
Yeah, I didn't save it, but yes, there's.
You do? Who was the company? I can't think of the name of the company.
It's called Prologim. They're from Taiwan, and Prologium.
And what's the premise on this? Can you enlighten me?
So basically, it's a battery that works on the same premise as the laptop batteries. And so it's going to be high density. It's going to
be solid state
battery. They're not going to use lithium anymore.
And I heard it was a 52% increase in density, energy density.
Huge.
Which range will go to 600 miles then.
Yeah.
Well, no, half again as much, 450. So you go what? 300 now,
right?
Times 1.5,
right? And
right, so 300
and a smaller
plus
size too,
450, and lighter, so you might get more range then too.
Right, smaller, lighter, and more power.
Interesting, and this is only just the beginning.
Just announced, so that's just coming out.
It's nice to be alive during today, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is. And
really
say
amazing
that as
stuff.
A blessing,
right?
Another quote I wanted to say.
Okay,
and I think it's appropriate right now.
Okay.
Person by the name of Gigi Hadid said it. I have 3 goals every day: be nice, work hard, and make friends.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong, can you?
No. It's a winning combination.
Let's go back to the other one. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. A guy named Jim Rohn said that. It's not a Todd's quote. This is a famous quote.
Right.
But that sums up the success of Crown Car Care and why we are what we are.
Right.
It's a simple formula.
Right.
Goes back to this one. So one of the simple formulas is be nice. Is Crown Car Care nice?
Absolutely.
Every move and step of the way.
Yep.
Do we work hard?
Yeah.
Sometimes we work hard till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and sometimes we work till midnight on a Sunday. I've been known to do that recently to get the job done. And do we make friends? You bet. So these 2 things are all about Crown Car Care, the 2 quotes that I told you, and it really sums up why, if you're looking for a repair shop, if you're looking for someone that will take the adventure of car ownership and join hands with you and at least guide you and give you great tips, advice, as well as repairs and service and maintenance from a service perspective. And I believe you should check us out, Crown Car Care. Not a fit for everybody, but I believe we're a fit for most.
For most, I would say so,
yes. We're a good fit. And if you're looking for a good dialogue, a good conversation, if you have a great car story, you can tell us on the radio. And what's that phone number to call?
220-9788.
You heard it now. You heard it right from Frank. Call us up. Tell us your car story. If you want to tell us your story and you're a little bit shy, come on by the shop.
Yeah.
I'm usually at the Palm City store. Or if you want to go tell it to Mike or Rich over there or any of the boys over at Cove Road, you can tell it to them there.
Absolutely.
We all love to hear car stories.
You bet.
Every day I hear different car stories. In fact, Frank, one of your travels in life. Oh, here's a question for you, Frank. And I was thinking about this. You've been in the wallpaper business.
Yeah.
I've heard there's been a wives' tale that glue is made from horses. Is that true?
Yes.
What?
It was.
It's true?
Well, it's made from many things, but yes. But that was one of the ingredients over the years, but sure. But not in wallpaper paste.
Oh.
Actually, milk is quite commonly used in like Elmer's glue.
Oh, Borden.
Borden
made wallpaper for years.
The Columbus Coated Fabrics out of Columbus, Ohio makes Waltex wallpaper.
And didn't you have, I can remember. In fact, my mom seems to believe she bought some of their wallpaper here earlier in their beginning experiences here in Martin County from your company.
Very likely. We sold a bunch.
I know you did. And you had a lot of books, didn't you?
Oh, God, over 300 catalogs.
And those are free. They just give them to you.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's another story.
WSTU.
Well, we just
speaking.
All right, let me move on here.
Hey, Evan.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about.
I'm doing a live show right now, but
there's 3 vehicles that I'm going to talk about.
Give me your number.
That give really a picture of what I've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. And one of the stories is about a Prius made its way to our shop. It's a hybrid, of course. Year is 2007.
Okay, bud.
Light blue or medium blue in color. Okay. And it came to us with several issues. One of the issues was the electric portion of the transmission, which is it's a CV transmission or constant velocity transmission. The electric motor, the MG2, MG1 and MG2 are two electric motors that are inside it. That's what propels it from an electric standpoint. Failed and shorted out. Of course, we came up with an alternative solution, a nice used one, low mileage, and we installed it. The second item of complaint from our customer who made it to our shop from another shop was they had a battery fail. And that was the hybrid electric, the high voltage battery on this Prius. Ooh. And we analyzed it, looked at it, and it looked to me like it had been replaced. And, you know, we had spoken with the customer. Sometimes people don't want to admit. I sometimes, you know, they don't want to, you know. Did you steal them cookies from the cookie jar? No one's going to tell you, are they?
No.
Did you get that battery from someone else? Yeah. Well, we still have the car at our shop 3 months later, waiting for a warranty battery from this company.
Wow.
She could have saved, you know, probably $200 or $300 more. Do it my way. But if that battery had failed under my watch and we had put it in, it'd been long gone. Been gone in about a couple of days.
Right.
So she's still dealing with it 3 months later. I have a vehicle that this company came and took the battery. It was one of these mobile repair places. You read them on the internet that fix these hybrid batteries. Well, guess what? They took the battery out, said they were going to come back with a warranty replacement, and we haven't heard from them since. Wow. And now that car sits at my shop. Only because they didn't make it to our shop prior to this problem. So, you know, no one to blame, but it's just, it gives an example of what can happen if
you don't know how to navigate these things.
You got to know how to navigate. Yeah. But I can tell you, even if you don't know how to navigate, guess who does? Brown car care knows how to navigate. And that just goes back to the success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. If you're on a ship and the navigator of the ship isn't looking at his compass constantly, would you like to be on that ship with him?
Not so much.
And then let's put the year. Let's put the year at 1923. You know, there's no radar. There's nothing. It's compass only.
Yeah.
Would you like to be on a ship where no one's paying attention to that compass? Or they've got ideas, crazy ideas on how to navigate, like
stick your finger in
the air and feel the wind, use the trade winds.
Yeah.
No. That's how people used to navigate. You know, the stars and the trade winds.
Sextant.
Yeah. But also the trade winds.
Yes.
That's how they call them trade winds.
That's right.
And my son, we've been studying some currents in his science class recently, as the last 2 weeks. Their currents are quite interesting if you study them on a global level.
Yes.
Currents.
Yeah.
A lot of them, you know, a lot of currents from the ocean come from the deep, cold Arctic and Antarctic sub-ice. Very interesting. Didn't know that.
Yes.
Him and I both found that out.
Yeah. And I was telling my wife and I, we were over Sanskrit Park yesterday. It was just a beautiful afternoon. We were there for a little while, and we're watching. It was low tide, so a lot of people don't realize that the moon is responsible for our tides.
Yes, the gravitational pull.
Yes,
it's the gravity.
Yeah,
it's gravity.
Yeah,
and honest to goodness, gravity.
The Earth is constantly being pushed and pulled
by the pull of the it's a
the moon and other celestial
yin and
bodies.
What is that?
Yin and
yang type attraction.
Right.
They both. It's forced into orbit. That's my watch that hit the desk. That crazy noise. But it's the and it's in the. That's why we never see the dark side of the moon.
Right.
Because of the way the spin of the moon and the Earth is. Whenever you look up, it's always it's on the other side.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But the story of this Prius. So back to the Prius. The Prius is still at my shop. We were waiting. We don't know what to do. I mean, this poor woman's laid out $3,000 for a battery pack. There's no battery in the car, so now you'd have to find outright, and they want a core charge, so you'd have to give a core, which means you have to return the old one. We have no old one to return. They've got the battery.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do.
Whoops.
At this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a solution. It's going to cost you plenty.
You have to buy
you got to buy a junkyard one with no core and just hope for the best, and we can possibly rebuild it. But you'd be looking at cost times, another cost above and beyond what she's paid.
Right.
So that's the story of best practices. Make sure that when you go to your repair shop, they do a set procedure on how things are done. right? If you have to choose your vendors wisely.
Right.
Your vendors are who we buy our parts from. How important is that? Plenty. But maybe one of the most important things. I need reliability. I need trust. I need warranty ability. Right. If your part fails, can I have access to another one? No questions asked.
Right.
Based off of my diagnosis and the trust of my repair shop. If we say it's bad, it's bad.
Right.
You earn that. You don't get that. You earn it. You earn things in life. You don't get.
Yeah.
And that's how you earn a reputation, right?
You bet.
But
it's hard work, sweat.
To earn a good reputation is hard work.
You bet.
To get a bad reputation is quite easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that?
It's no effort at all.
And it's like you get a bad reputation, you earn a good one.
There you go.
And when you hear the word earn, it involves toil, time, effort, love, niceness,
right,
hard work, and making many friends. If you don't have friends at either end of your supply chain that I deal with,
right,
it could result in situations like this. Prius, bad choices.
Let me ask you, when your Prius means it's a gas electric, right?
Yes. So for the most part, it's running off gas.
So she can run it fully as a car, right? Is it a gasoline?
It won't start. It won't run. Nothing. There's shutouts because the battery's out. The contactors have to cycle through on a safety perspective.
Okay.
Everything has to pass through a test. Whenever you turn a Prius on or any other hybrid, you hear these clicks. Those are electromechanical. Those are relays, and those relays are in nitrogen, sealed nitrogens to avoid sparks.
Oh,
no spark in nitrogen, right? Or there's a spark, but there's no conductivity because nitrogen
is inert.
So
yeah,
that's how that works.
Oh, that's good to know.
Before the show, we were talking about rockets.
We were, yeah.
And I believe
moon rockets is a good time to be alive, right?
Yes, we're getting ready to go to the moon.
Yep.
We got Amazon involved. We got Virgin Airlines involved. We got Virgin Airlines involved now on our train here.
Yeah.
And then it all started, I believe, in Germany with the V2 rocket.
It did in Poonemunde, Germany.
Can you tell me anything about that V2 rocket? You got any stories to tell me?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
You do?
I do. In my dad's paint store back in the 60s, a German man came in there. He was probably easily, I don't know, as a kid, I thought he was an old guy, but he was maybe in his 60s.
Isn't that funny? When we were younger, we think everyone was an old guy.
Right.
What do they think of me?
Right. Holy cow.
Holy cow, my dad.
But anyway, so this guy likely was in his mid to late 60s. Nice guy and thick German accent. So I back in the 60s, you visited with your customers and you kind of learned a little bit about them and their history. And
we do at Crown Car Care still.
Yeah, and it's great. It's the human interaction.
Remember what? I have 3 goals every day. Be nice, work hard, and make friends.
Make friends.
Continue.
Absolutely. And I made a friend in this man, and he shared an amazing story with me. He was the electrical engineer in charge of the V2 plant in Poonemunde, Germany, and worked with Werner von Braun and his team.
Wow.
And so the team was responsible for solving the dilemma. They were unsuccessful in getting the rocket to pass through that max Q, that maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle,
which is at highest velocity, highest altitude, whatever.
And the pressure,
that
pressure
exerts from the outside, pushing in on the rocket.
Correct. And that's about 2 minutes into flight.
Causes them to squish together, right?
Causes the nose cone to snap off.
Okay.
And because they had to put a payload in the nose cone, and payload included TNT.
I've experimented before with nose cones on rockets, Estes rockets.
Yes. So you know of which I'm speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ours didn't have TNT.
No. It's just gunpowder.
Another story. Keep going.
So, anyways, but they were with a gun to the back of their head from the SS Gestapo. They needed to solve this problem because the nose cone kept snapping off 2 minutes into flight. So they finally solved the problem. Little known by common.
Now, was there pressure from anyone in the higher ups from Germany on this? Was there pressure?
Oh yeah.
And it was do or die.
It was do or die. And so they found that if they took strips of aluminum and then attached the nose cone to the rocket body itself,
give rigidity to it, or strength.
Yeah, add a little extra hamburger helper, if you will, just so that nose cone would not come off in flight, and that's what they did. And that solved that problem. And then they were able to successfully deliver those vehicles, much to the chagrin of our friends in England. But anyways, that's how that all came about.
Oh, if anyone's wondering why we're not taking commercial breaks, is we're going to be ending the show a little bit early tonight.
Right. So all
I have to go to his son's basketball. My son is playing basketball today over at Murray Middle School, locally, and I have to watch him play.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll do the commercials at the end. But what I wanted to say next was the next story of the vehicle. I'm going to talk about. We have two more. We have a 2010 Chevrolet Tahoe hybrid.
Okay.
Hybrid. Very interesting vehicle.
Another hybrid.
Very interesting. And then also a story about a 2007 Sprinter.
Now, what's the Sprinter?
Sprinter is a diesel. It's made by Dodge/Mercedes. It's got the diesel engine in it.
Okay.
And it's like a big cargo van. You've seen those.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sprinters. A lot of electricians, plumbers use it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the Sprinter first. It's a little bit, maybe easier story to tell. The Tahoe has a twisted tail. Very interesting. Okay, the Sprinter came in to us this morning. This is a story this morning.
Okay.
I purchased the vehicle several months ago used. It's a contractor. I'm not going to say his profession, nor am I going to say his name. The thing's clean as a whistle. He bought it used. And remember, my business is not about brand new vehicles, although we do service them.
Right.
We have many clientele who have brand new vehicles, and you can come to us and we can help you, guide you. If you have warranty issues, we can get you steered to the right people at the dealerships. I have a working relationship with, I try everybody, and it goes back to the 3 things we do in life: make friends. Okay, so the Sprinter came to us this morning, and he had been using another shop. I'm going to say around the corner, but it could be around the block. It could be 5 miles away or 10 miles away. It's irrelevant. But he told this story about he brought his vehicle after he had purchased it used and brought it to this other shop. And they had 2 things he wanted done. He wanted the oil changed, and he had an item of complaint on it, and he wanted them to look at it. The brakes squeaked all the time. 2 items.
All right.
Squeak,
easy enough.
Oil change.
Yeah, easy enough.
He went there at the end of the day and asked if he hadn't heard from him. He was wondering if he found anything on the brakes, and they looked at him. We haven't touched it yet. Okay, so it was there the whole day, and they hadn't touched it yet. Hadn't done the oil change.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Things can happen, can't it?
Right.
But you recover quickly if things do happen. Things slip through my watch too, but we recover very fast. And he says, "Well, what am I going to do?" He says, "I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We didn't get to it." And that was that. He took the vehicle. I don't know if words were exchanged or what happened at that point. I can tell you, though, he was very disenfranchised and not happy. I don't think he was mad. He was kind of bummed out.
Right.
Wouldn't you be if you brought something somewhere? If I brought something somewhere and at least look at the thing.
Well, so the car represents the second most expensive personal investment an individual makes in their life,
and they blow it off.
And when you leave it in somebody else's care,
it's kind of important. It's kind of important, Frank.
It's very important.
It's kind of important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what happened at that point, but he made his way to my shop.
Right.
And that was this morning, first thing. And now I don't know from the time that last thing played out till now. I think it was like a week. Okay. He came in with a more serious condition, and he said that I have a check engine light, and he has 3 or 4 vehicles, all diesels, because we specialize in diesels. It's something that we're very proficient at. We're experts at it, certified, ASE certified at it. And if you have a diesel out there in Martin County, a real good choice is to choose Crown Car Care.
Yeah.
And he chose us. And the first thing I did is introduce him to all my technicians. I walked every tech I have out there in the Palm City store, and we shook his hand and introduced themselves. I introduced myself. My manager, Paul, came out and introduced himself, and we all got to know each other a little bit before we even looked at the vehicle. I wanted to meet him. I wanted to know a little bit about him, and I wanted him to know a little bit about us. Because sometimes, no matter how good my food is, if you don't like my type of food, I'm never going to convince you otherwise.
Right.
He liked what I had to offer.
Yeah.
So he asked if we could take a look at his check engine light. He didn't want to leave it because I knew he was leery because of his less experience. He didn't want to leave it. So we gladly looked at it. And I will tell you what the problem was. The problem was with the check engine light, which is, if you've never had a check engine light, it can be anything from a blown motor to a silly sensor for $20. This case, it happened to be an EGR valve and a mass airflow sensor. The two were reading, they read together, and they take the data from the exhaust gas recirculation valve, and they take the other reading from the manifold airflow or it reads in grams or weight. It tells you how much air is coming in the intake or through the air filter, how much air is coming into the motor. Grams per second is what it's measured in. Well, that grams per second was different from what the EGR valve should have been for that reading. A relationship code. Relationship. And the problem was the EGR valve had failed or was failing, and it was all carboned up. It's a known issue, as well as the mass airflow gets a little out of kilter. And between the two of them, you have this situation that causes the check engine light and limits performance. Very simple fix, not cheap. I believe it was maybe, I don't know, $1,500, which is not cheap in the world of repair, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't change that. But what I can change is I can change the outlook of a bad experience that you've had somewhere else.
Right.
I can't change what the outcome of the repair is, although sometimes I find out what the outcome of the repair is from somebody else is not the outcome of what really is wrong.
Right.
Bingo. I can change that. But what's broke is broke.
Right.
So we've ordered the parts. He can still drive the vehicle, run his business.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back, I believe, on Friday morning, and we're going to take care of him. So
Nice.
That's how I earned myself a new customer at Crown Car Care. I didn't do anything but what? A few simple disciplines I practiced every day came into play. I executed those disciplines, and we earned ourselves a new customer.
Yeah.
We earned it.
Yeah.
We earned it.
Doesn't happen by
We
accident.
didn't get it. We earned it.
Right.
And it started with being nice.
Right.
Did we make friends? Yes, I introduced all my technicians as well as my shop manager to the customer. And did we work hard at it while he was there waiting? You bet.
Mm-hmm.
So I did all three goals: nice, work hard, and make friends. And we earned ourselves a fabulous customer, a new account. And all we did was a few simple disciplines that we practiced every day. Every day we do the same thing.
Nice.
It's that simple. And when you do the same things every day, the outcomes become more and more reliable.
Yes.
And that's what happened with that.
Sweet.
That's that story. That's a 2007 Dodge Sprinter, which is AKA Mercedes Sprinter, AKA diesel van, AKA Freightliner. Freightliner has the same vehicle, AKA Rebadge.
Okay.
It's like a Telluride and the Palisade.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Mercedes happens to rebadge a few of them for different manufacturers, and it's the same vehicle. This happens to be the Dodge Sprinter, which I believe ended in 2008 at their separation. Remember, Mercedes left Dodge.
Yeah.
Don't know why. That's
Very unceremonious. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't good. Well, I think they cut their losses and ran.
Yeah.
Some companies don't fit.
Yes.
A Mercedes type company doesn't fit with Dodge.
Well, it's like the Jaguar, right? Ford bought Jaguar.
Yes.
And they did amazing things with Jaguar.
Yes, they did.
And
to this day, still there. I mean, existing, but they don't own them.
Right. The
They
quality.
sold it to two bicycle manufacturer brothers from India that made bicycles.
Right. Tata, right?
Yeah, two brothers.
Yeah.
I have a customer told me a story about he went to college with the two brothers in England.
Right. But it never made sense to me. I mean, the improvements that they implemented were Ford level improvements because they were
Quality
and the
timeliness, diagnosability, that uniform standards when it came to parts and
there were no
protocols.
two cars that were built the same. They were all hand built.
I think
basically.
that's the word they use is bespoke.
Yeah.
I believe that's the word of the day. Bespoke. That means it was hand built.
Yeah.
A bespoke stagecoach.
Yeah.
A bespoke watch.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is a bespoke car made in England.
It was just awful.
The invitation for trouble.
Right. The quality control was just awful.
And Lucas, apparently one of the finest electrical companies in the world, Lucas, the Prince of Darkness. Did I say Prince of Darkness? Prince of Darkness is a reputation that Lucas earned in England for constantly failing. Prince England, Prince of Darkness, Lucas Electric.
Got it.
Yeah,
all right.
Okay. Lucas Electric.
Interesting.
That's one of the reputations in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
English cars were off the side of the road more than they were on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. We have one more tale.
Okay.
When should we
We've
stop?
got another 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Let's tell one more tale, and then I'll be on my way to a basketball game, and we can do our media blitz with some ads, and we'll call it a wash.
Okay.
Super.
Fair enough.
And what kind of glue do they make out of with horses?
Horse glue.
I think they use the hooves. If I'm not mistaken.
Ground hooves. Yeah.
That's the cuticle.
Mm-hmm.
That's made. That's used in candy too.
They use ground hooves to make. You ready for this? Jello. Jello is made from ground hooves.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Let's change the subject.
Yeah.
Move on. Okay. The next tale is about a 2010 Chevrolet Tahoe hybrid.
Okay. 2010
hybrid.
10-year-old car.
So it has an LS V8 motor in it, 5.3 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe in a 6.0. Either or, same motor, just different bore and stroke. Has a fully, just like the transmission that's in the Prius, it's an automatic transmission combined with a electric motor, 2 electric motors inside the transmission. It's rear-wheel drive. What's going to happen to be 4-wheel drive? And had a big battery pack, twice as big as a Prius battery pack, by the way, because of the weight of the vehicle. The battery pack, and it's so ironic, is actually a derivative of a Toyota pack. In fact, they even use the same Panasonic cells that the Prius use.
Right. Well, Tesla, when they first started building their cars, they were using Panasonic.
Panasonic. They're a cartridge or
They look like the oversized AA batteries.
No. This is the flat. Looks like a big oversized cell phone stacked in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. That Honda uses the ones that look like cells.
Okay.
So this is the
got it. Okay.
Like a big loaf of bread.
Got it.
Think of a big loaf of bread. Big loaf of bread from 2J's sliced thick.
All right.
Rye bread.
Nice.
Or hollow. Either or, they're both good. Okay, so you got this big battery pack, and he came in because he had over 200,000 miles on it. He commutes down to Miami. I'm not going to tell you what he does. I'm not going to give away any information, but he does commute to Miami. A lot of driving, a lot of highway driving, and the batteries were getting weak, and he was getting a check engine light with a code for the battery. I met him at the air show 2 years ago, and it was just starting to surface, and he made his way in for us to take a look at it. Fine gentleman, super smart, did some of the repairs himself, but he was, he likes to navigate through the process, and we welcome those type people.
Sure. But he discovered he was out of his element. He needed to come to the pro.
Come to the pro, and we did. But he also said that his drain plug was getting a little stripped out, and while we're there looking at his battery, could we just drop the oil, put the new drain plug in, and put some new oil in there? He had just changed the filter the other week. I said, sure, we'll just do it real quick.
Yeah.
I diagnosed the battery, and what he came for was it needed a bunch of cells, over half of them. And in this case, on a Tahoe, because of the load and the heat that's developed inside this battery pack, because of the weight of the vehicle, they just cook. When you get over 200,000 miles on a battery pack and you have the higher mileage, you got two choices. You can rebuild it with, people like to use the Generation 3 Prius cells. What's in it now is the Generation 2. Generation 3, a little bit more robust, a little bit more durable from the charge standpoint. Or the other option is just to buy a rebuilt battery pack and put it in.
Right.
From a reputable source, not like the Prius story that I just told about. This fly-by-night comes out of Orlando, replaces it for free. You just pay for the battery pack, and then if there's a problem, it sits at somebody's house or whatever for 3 months.
Yeah.
Oof. Bad story on that one.
Yeah.
But we're going to help her. I will help her out. But the 2010 Tahoe, as we dropped the oil, all this metal came out of the pan. That's not why I was here. The engine didn't make any noise.
What was going on in the pan?
All this metal came out of the pan. It turns out, we got the rest of the story. And now for the rest of the story.
Yeah, Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey. Didn't he say that for the rest of the story?
And now the rest of the story.
Yes. He used a lot of intonation and pauses.
Pregnant pause, they refer to it in radio.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So the Paul Harvey came out, and he came clean that it was at another repair shop, and he had 2 sets of lifters fail on this motor. and they had just replaced a warranty set of lifters. For heaven's sakes, you didn't drop the pan to get the metal out on the failed lifter? For heaven's sakes.
It's just not good follow through.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. And so
it's just awful.
When you have a failed lifter,
you got to get all the metal on.
Why it's failed.
But when a lifter fails and you catch it, you can fix it.
Right.
And cause no motor damage other than replacing the lifter. The needle bearings went bad and it created some roller issues or roller lifters. I'm not going to get into the details of how and why they work. Just know this, that when certain parts fail in a motor, it doesn't mean the whole motor failed, but you have parts that fail in braking. You can't get to the bottom of the oil pan. You got to pull the oil pan and clean out the mess.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like a bunch of stuff falling behind your refrigerator, right? And you think it's clean. You mop the floor in front of it, but there's really stuff behind it. You got to pull the refrigerator out and look, right?
Yeah. Find out what's going on.
You got to pull the oil pan off.
Yeah.
He didn't pull the oil pan off the other shop.
Oh my God.
It's awful.
Yikes.
Of course, I can't do it for free. I had to charge the gentleman.
Of course.
Gave him a little bit of a break, but I still had to pull the oil pan. It's not why he came. Came for battery. Remember, he came for the battery. This is an ancillary. Can you change the drain plug?
You can't make this stuff
That's all true. It just happened. It was a hybrid.
Oh,
It was just awful. I didn't know what to tell him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we've already run the marathon and we haven't even done what he came for.
Gee willikers.
But it goes back to we were kind, we were nice, we made friends, and we told the truth, and we followed our protocol like we always do, and it ends up in the same result. Positive outcome.
Right.
And that's what I can tell you at Crown Car Care. Give us a call, 772-781-8000. If you want to deal with some reputable people in town that tell you the truth, that will hold your hand, that will guide you through this whole process and navigation of automobiles. You'll get me, you'll get my staff, and you'll get our best practices over the past 13 years that have kept us in business till today.
Yeah.
So, and that, my friends, is the rest of the story.
So I got to tell you, we got 1 minute before you have to go. But so I want to thank you and your staff for, because I called up this morning on my way into work. So my car has been since yesterday. It started yesterday.
Yes, sir.
It been nagging me unceremoniously on the driver's side light, rear brake light. It just went out.
Has been on the fits.
It just decided to quit working.
Okay.
But I got an
obnoxious message.
I got an alert on my instrument panel,
which is very nice that it alerted
right
you.
And so I'm aware of it. Okay, fine, I have to deal with it. But every time I tap the brakes, which is as you come to find out,
and store it quite a bit.
Is often.
Yes.
The alert keeps coming up. It comes up when you start the car.
Yes.
It comes is because
as you use it.
Right.
Then, wow. So it's quite a bit. You're quite familiar with that message.
I am fully aware of the fact that this puppy needs to be addressed. So
and that is the final story.
Right. And it's coming into your shop
on Wednesday.
Wednesday
We're
morning.
doing a little bit of car swap at our business group meeting.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yep. And take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. You're listening to the Crown Car Care Radio Hour. And you can reach Todd at his mothership show, his mothership station over at 781-8000 Crown Car Care here in Stewart and in Palm City. 781-8000. Give them a call.